Welcome to Seigneurens Studio, where we explore the wisdom of the ages and apply it to our lives today. I'm JB.
And I'm Lucy. Today, we're talking about the book of Proverbs, specifically the first chapter.
Proverbs is a book of wisdom that provides practical advice for living a good life. It's a great resource for anyone who wants to learn how to make good choices and live a fulfilling life.
Let's dive into the first few verses of Proverbs chapter 1. Verse 1, the Proverbs of Solomon the son of David, king of Israel.
Here we learn that the book of Proverbs is written by Solomon, one of the most famous and wise kings of Israel. Verse 2, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding.
Solomon begins by telling us that the purpose of his book is to help us gain wisdom and understanding. Verse 3, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity.
He also tells us that through his teachings, we can learn about justice, judgment, and equity. Verse 4, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion.
And for those who may not have much experience in life, Solomon promises to give them knowledge and discretion.
Those are some powerful promises, don't you think, Lucy?
Definitely, JB. But it's not just about gaining knowledge. The next verses show us that wisdom is also about making good choices. Verse 5, a wise man will hear, and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels.
Solomon tells us that those who are wise will listen and learn from others, and they will seek wise counsel. Verse 6, to understand a proverb, and the interpretation, the words of the wise, and their dark sayings.
He also encourages us to try to understand the deeper meanings of his proverbs and the words of other wise people. But wisdom is not just about what we learn. It's also about what we do with that knowledge.
That's right, Lucy. The next verses show us that wisdom requires action. Verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Solomon tells us that the foundation of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. In other words, we must acknowledge and respect God's authority if we want to gain true wisdom. Verse 8, my son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother.
And he reminds us to honor our parents' teachings and not to stray.
Hey guys, what's up? So, have you ever been tempted to do something that you know is not right? Maybe you were with some friends who wanted to do something that would get you in trouble, and you didn't know what to do.
That's a great question, JB. It reminds me of something I read in the book of Proverbs. In chapter 1, verses 10 through 14, it says, my son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait for blood, let us ambush the innocent without reason, like Sheol let us swallow them alive, and whole, like those who go down to the pit, we shall find all precious goods, we shall fill our houses with plunder, throw in your lot among us, we will all have one purse.
Wow, that's intense. So, what should you do in a situation like that?
Well, the Bible is very clear that we should not consent to sin, even if others are pressuring us to do so. We need to stand firm in what we know is right and not be swayed by the influence of others. My son, do not walk in the way with them, hold back your foot from their paths.
That's great advice, Lucy. Thanks for sharing that with us. Hey, guys, let's go do something that's actually fun and doesn't involve getting in trouble.
Remember, it's important to surround ourselves with people who will encourage us to do what's right and not lead us down the wrong path.
We hope you've been enjoying our exploration of the book of Proverbs. In this next section, we'll be taking a closer look at verses 15 through 21.
That's right, JB. These verses warn us about the dangers of following the wrong crowd.
Exactly. Verse 15 tells us, my son, do not walk in the way with them, hold back your foot from their paths.
It's so important to be mindful of the people we choose to spend time with, especially if they are leading us down a destructive path.
Verse 16 goes on to say, for their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood.
That's a really intense image, but it highlights the fact that following the wrong crowd can lead us into some pretty dark places.
Absolutely. And verse 17 continues with a similar theme, for in vain is a net spread in the sight of any bird.
This is saying that those who are looking to trap us will be unsuccessful if we are wise and careful.
And in verse 18, we see that those who are trying to trap us may ultimately end up being caught in their own trap. But these men lie in wait for their own blood, they set an ambush for their own lives.
So we need to be wise and not let ourselves get caught up in other people's destructive plans.
And verse 19 reminds us of the consequences of greed and selfishness. Such are the ways of everyone who is greedy for unjust gain. It takes away the life of its possessors.
So let's be mindful of the company we keep and always strive to do what is right and just.
And that's it for this section of our Proverbs exploration. Tune in next time when we dive into the final section of this amazing book. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay wise. We hope you've enjoyed learning about the Proverbs of Solomon with us.
We're about to dive into the final verses of chapter 1, so grab a notepad and pen to jot down some key takeaways. Verse 22, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
This verse is a call to action for those who may be naive or gullible. It's a reminder that it's important to seek knowledge and wisdom, rather than taking everything at face value.
And for those who delight in mocking and scorning others, this verse is a warning to change their ways. Verse 23, Turn you at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, I will make known my words unto you.
This verse is an invitation to those who are willing to learn and grow. It's a promise that those who seek wisdom and understanding will be rewarded with knowledge and guidance.
So don't be afraid to seek advice from those who are wiser and more experienced than you. They may have insights that can help you on your journey. Verse 24 to 25, Because I have called, and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof.
This is a reminder that wisdom and understanding are not always easy to come by. We must be willing to listen and take advice, even if it goes against our initial instincts.
And if we refuse to listen to wisdom, we may miss out on important opportunities for growth and learning. Verse 26 to 27, I also will laugh at your calamity, I will mock when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you.
These verses may seem harsh, but they serve as a warning that ignoring wisdom can have serious consequences.
By seeking knowledge and understanding, we can avoid some of the pitfalls and hardships of life. Verse 28 to 33, Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord, they would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
These final verses remind us that there are consequences to our actions. By seeking wisdom and understanding, we can avoid these negative consequences and find peace in our lives.
And by hearkening unto the Lord, we can find safety and security in this ever-changing world.
Thanks for joining us for this video. We hope you've learned something new and gained some wisdom to carry with you on your journey.
Be sure to subscribe to Seigneurens Studio for more biblical insights and wisdom.